I would directly go to the questions and answers session. I will just share my screen because we have some questions on Slido. Okay, good. So we have one question which is actually directed to the organizers of this webinar. There's the question if the presentation is going to be available for offline viewing. So there will be a recording. So the session is recorded and we will make the recording available. So, and we will send you the link to the recording after the webinar. And so you can also, listen it at a later stage. Then there is a question for Roshni and Anurag for the DeepChef project. So how easy would it be to adapt your project to, say, flood forecasting?
Right. So for flood forecasting, what we understand, so Roshni had actually previously worked also on not flood forecasting, but prediction of adverse weather conditions. So we were just having a discussion, and what we understand is that the 4 parameters that we use, we would need to use some other parameters as well on the input side to be able to model flood forecasting. But the machine learning architecture that we use, we do believe there have been cases where UNet has been used as a machine learning architecture for flood forecasting. So that aspect of it could possibly be very well adapted for flood forecasting. That probably answers your question, Pedro.
Okay, thank you. There's also another question for you from Frank. So what is the required input data resolution needed for the 4 parameters of the DeepChef algorithm?
Right, so the 4 parameters, we input them at a 9-kilometer resolution. So that's like slightly less than a degree. So yeah.
Okay, and another question from Mohit. So what is the loss matrix used? So using RMSE generally smoothens the field. Thus predicting very high values becomes difficult. Was this observed?
Thanks for the question, Mohit. So predicting high values is sort of one of the challenges that we faced. We did not use RMSE. We used MAE as our loss metric. And from our understanding, the loss metric and the gradients being smoothed was not the challenge. Rather, the data set itself has has a much lower number of occurrences of high FWI values, and that has been the challenge so far. So going ahead, probably as Jeff evolves more and we have a larger data set, once we retrain this model, we'll probably have a higher accuracy even for high FWI values.
Okay, thank you. And then there's now a question for Ashwin. Is the code for the Tropical Cyclones project available?
Okay, so I've currently added the pre-processing scripts, but I'm mainly experimenting with the Jupyter notebooks, so I'll add that soon as well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So there are no further questions unless now it is your final chance to ask a question on Slido. In the meantime, because we already over time, I would like to thank everyone, especially the speakers today, to present their projects, and it's impressive what you've already accomplished for the last 2 months. I just have 2 remaining slides. As I said at the beginning, this was the first of a webinar series. So the second webinar where we present the other 5 projects of this year from the ECMWF Summer of Weather Code will be next week on 29th of July at the same time. It is 2 p.m. Central European Summer Time. And it will be the 5 projects listed here. So if you go to the website esog.ecmwf.int, you'll find all the information to the webinars, and you can easily, we ask you also to register for next week's webinar and also hear about the projects next week. So because there were questions already, and also all the projects they said, so ECMWF Summer of Weather Code is all about open source code development. And if you go to github.com/ESOG challenges_2020, you see the projects, and all the projects are also, they have repositories on GitHub, and you can also follow the developments during the coding period. So if you're interested interested and if you want to get in touch with the project and team members, so please go on GitHub and follow up their work. The same with ESOG, go to the website. As I said, next week we have another webinar. If you're interested in listening into the other 5 projects, go to our website, esog.ecmwf.int. And you can already save the date. So if you found it interesting today, this was just the midterm presentations. It will be much more interesting and much more impressive even for the final ECMWF Summer of Weather Code outcomes. The final ESOG day, it will be online this year, but it will be on the 16th of October 2020. And you will get, so please follow us on Twitter, and so you get all the information on Twitter and also on our website how to register for the final ESOG day.